I said, I'm not against it in anything in such a way to where it's like, no, it's just like, man, I feel like I'm having to get into Star Wars for a fourth time. Like I said, what was the OT lightning in a bottle, guys? I mean, literally, you make a prequel trilogy, and you have to make stuff to make it better, and then you make a sequel trilogy, and you're making stuff to make it better. And not only that, but you're reaching in and grabbing stuff from an erased EU to make it better. Is it possible to do from scratch a Star Wars trilogy well?
I mean, yeah, because
I think so,
you know, at the end of the day, the universe itself is just a sandbox.
Right.
Right.
Look at Mandalorian.
But it's directly connected to and borrowing from. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Something from scratch.
I mean, you're still going to be playing with the sandbox. It's like if you, I mean, it's like the taking any series and just doing another film set in that universe. It doesn't, you know, most. What am I trying to say? The world building is good enough in Star Wars that as long as you don't fuck with the kind of rules of the universe too much, you can kind of play with any genre you want and any story you want. So ultimately, it comes down to who's got a good idea for a story, who's got a good pitch, and I mean a pitch for a trilogy.
Right.
I think it's comparable to like the James Bond franchise, right? You have your different actors who have played James Bond. It's still the same universe, still the same concept of there. Everyone has their favorite, right? You have the old school fans, Sean Connery. Then you had the Roger Moore fans, and then Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and now the younger generation, is more of a Daniel Craig fan. But if you talk to a lot of the old James Bond fans, they don't like Daniel Craig because James Bond is not what Daniel Craig was like Jason Bourne, the hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. That James Bond was a sleek guy who could work his way out of everything with gadgets and stuff. I think that's like that with Star Wars, right? You and I and Cam are from the original trilogy era, so we've seen everything. We're like the original James Bond with Sean Connery and seeing all the interpretation of it and saying, it's still not good as Sean Connery style, but you still enjoy some parts of it. But the 20-year-old people, that are around now, those are your Phantom Menace fans, prequel trilogy fans that they didn't grow up on the original trilogy. They started first with, the prequels and the Clone Wars era. And then we got to understand too is that movies have transitioned a lot where Lucas is the first one to kind of create a universe in film, but also keep it going with television and keep the story arc going the same. And that started a whole new. You look at Marvel copying the same concept, where you have the movie universe and then you have the TV universe, where they try to do it with the Netflix series. They did it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they try to put it all together. Is it great? No, it depends on who you're the fan of and stuff. The sequel trilogy, it's its own mess with it. I get you on that, but there's the young generation that enjoys it, and but can you start something from scratch and call it Star Wars? I think that's what we're going to see with. I think we saw that with Mandalorian season 1. I think we're going to see that with The Acolyte. I think we're going to see that with Taika Waititi's Star Wars film, because everything I've heard about it is that those are on a different, playing field or different level when it comes to Star Wars. Anything Filoni is attached to, you're staying with the core George Lucas original trilogy, Skywalker saga universe, right? All these other projects that are going on in Disney with other, directors coming in, you keep talking how you want to see something different, you're going to get it. You just got to wait a little bit longer for it.
So thank you for proving my my exact point.
Mhm.
The original trilogy was indeed lightning in a bottle, because everything you're mentioning is not a new trilogy, and Disney immediately after both of their or Disney and or Lucasfilm after their last two trilogies spent a lot of time on fixing those trilogies immediately for old fans and new. So yeah, like that was the point I was getting to.
I don't think Lucas, but when Lucas created the Clone Wars animated series, that wasn't to fix the prequel trilogy. He already wanted, like, he was already working on the animated series during the actual Clone Wars production, and it wasn't because of the backlash of it. He wanted to bring Star Wars to television. That was his ultimate goal. He wanted to do live action for the longest time, but he couldn't find the budget and the technology to go with it. So then he went and recruited the best of the best for animation and to do the Clone Wars. So what Disney's doing, yeah, you're right. They are trying to fix a problem that they created with the sequel trilogy. But to go to the prequels and what Lucas was doing with the Clone Wars, that I know it's a different concept there, because Lucas already had the animated series ready to go, lined up when he always wanted to go television, and the only way he wanted to do it, and so the Clone Wars was his baby, because the Clone Wars was his kind of his story to bring to television. He knew that was going to be it, and that was interviews you hear back in the 90s when he said, when we bring Star Wars to television, the focus will be on the Clone Wars.
But who was the writer, the primary writing group and writer for that? Lucas
The
wrote
first 3 seasons. First 3 seasons, it was all his storylines, and then he let Filoni take over season 4 and 5, and that's when it's 4.
And that's where
that's when it get better.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
like
seasons 1, 2, seasons 1, 2, and 3 are.
What you said, Mike, is right. It's Lucas's plan, but let's not forget. Lucas gave us Jar Jar, and he gave us Roger battle bots. Filoni came in, and other people, the same ones that watched Lucas pick the young kid. I'm not gonna knock him because he had issues, but the young kid for Anakin, and everyone in the room's like, oh my God, George, you what the fuck? They didn't say it to him, and so yeah, you've got people in Lucasfilm and Filoni chomping at the bit to get in there and do it better.
Well,
and Cam said it.
Filoni was recruited, and so Filoni was working on Avatar and SpongeBob SquarePants, and Lucas recruited Filoni because he liked what he was doing, which is amazing how he was able to pick that, like, in working on, and brought him in and basically taught him how to do, storylines and stuff, and basically, explain how his interpretation of the Force, and Filoni would say everything he does, storyline and stuff like that, is straight from Lucas, and Lucas approves of all the stories too, and he'll come in and say, you got to do this, you got to do this, everything with animated.
Yeah, but Lucas was always a good idea, man. What
exactly.
It wasn't good is writing it on the page, and
that's
Filoni seemed
okay, all right, but yeah, I mean, we can go back and forth with all that, so.
Anyway, you guys are right,
yeah.
and that was just kind of my point. It's annoying
to do lightning in the bottle again in that sandbox. I mean, for all you know, Taika Waititi's movie could actually be the first of a trilogy, and he's just not announced that yet.
Correct.
Or
yeah.
5 could be, and they've not announced it yet. But maybe
I want to see
it's not to do any more trilogies, but at some point they will do a trilogy, and then it's just.
I want Taika Waititi's to be a trilogy about the B-1 battle droids, and just hear Roger the entire time. He would make it amazing.
And they just spin lightsabers.
Oh God! And they just.